can be an extra walking by.
Hi! So, like I was saying, there's footsteps up on the ceiling. Nobody's home. So I come back with my bells because I ring them quite often because I believe that they ward off evil spirits. And I'm not alone on this belief. So I come back and start ringing my bells, and the footsteps in the hall, I stop because I can hear them again. They run down the top stairs, down 2 flights of stairs, and out the front door. And I hear it open and close. Quite interesting. I still don't know what happened. I only know what I experienced. But as far as I could tell, I told an evil spirit to get the hell out. And it did. So that was a very interesting experience for me. Little did I know, but I had a slight suspicion that there was still another spirit in the house. And would later find out one evening when I woke up to find all of my bells swinging by themselves that, yes, there was still a spirit in the house. Yeah, I woke up, my bells had been hung from the ceiling. I hung them from hooks, so they were free hanging bells. And there was no breeze, there was no windows, there was no fan, nothing. I woke up and the bells were just back and forth. And I'm assuming I woke up because they had actually crossed paths at one point and woke me up. So I realized then and there that yes, there's a mischievous spirit that is still here, and they're good because they're trying to ring my bells. So that was when it all started, and I realized there was another one there. And over time, I would see it around. I knew that it was a girl, and that it was probably a child because the energy that I would always see when she was around was smaller, like the size of a kid, maybe an 8-year-old kid, and she was very playful, like a child. And I also think that's why it was so easy for me to communicate with her because she wasn't, she didn't have as many inhibitions as an adult may have had. So the whole time I lived there, basically, our relationship grew. She used to sleep in my bed with me at times. I felt her lying next to me. She used to always open up the door at the end of the hallway in the room that she died in to look out and see who was walking down the hall. My other roommates experienced this as well. And she was very playful. There was one time when I was talking to my roommates about her. They hated it. They were terrified when I brought up the fact that there was a ghost there. And that I could see it. And I brought it up the fact to my roommate that she was there because she was in the room as we were just talking. She goes, "Just stop, no, that ghost isn't here, you're freaking us out." And she walks over to the patio on the landing to the stairs to go up to the second floor, to the third floor. She turns on the light, and we keep talking. 5 seconds later, the light turns off, and we hear footsteps run up the stairs. And I said, "See? I told you, there she is." My roommate freaked out. But that was just one perfect example of how silly this girl was. She was very fun to be around. And the biggest thing for me, and apart from just having all this physical evidence that she was actually around all the time and knowing that she was there, was when I finally decided that I was going to try, because I knew I had met spirits of the dead in my lucid dreams before, that I was not aware of or were not around me, but I still have, communicated with them and spoke with them and had an understanding that they were spirits of the dead and not one of the many other kinds of spirits and entities and beings in this glorious universe of ours. So I asked her to try and communicate with me and to meet me on the astral side, on the astral plane, and tell me what's up, tell me what happened. Because at that point I was very curious to see if my intuition was correct. And indeed, I had a dream, and she came to me, and it was incredible. And she verified that she was indeed a young girl. She was the child of the hired help, aka practically slaves from the turn of the century, living in a Victorian home for these rich, men, this rich family. And there was a fire in the house, and in the time that she was there was only one stairway. So when the fire began, and all the help lived upstairs, the top floor of the house was like another apartment. There was a kitchen up there and everything, and that's where I lived with other people. And she was trapped up there, and she died in the house, and she burned, and that's why she was still there. But she also mentioned the other ghost the other spirit that I ushered out when I moved in, and spoke of how she was really happy that that one was gone, because he used to, in her words, which is still kind of creepy to me, he used to prey on me in the attic, is what she said. So it seems like she was being bullied by this malevolent spirit that was probably living in the house there with her as well, or perhaps was even there from before she even died in the home, who knows. But it was quite an amazing experience, and really changed my understanding fundamentally, because there was just so much daily evidence that she was there, and that we were communicating with each other, that I kind of never was the same after I left that house and had that experience, and still hold it very dear to me. So that was a huge, huge thing. Breakthrough dreams, again. I continued to have even more lucid dreams where the spirits would come to me. They were continuously still challenging me as usual. However, now, because of my understanding of the cosmic, divine energy, and was really starting to get into, the light, and, learning more about, the unspoken things in our universe, or the lesser spoken of things, which is so important to mankind. So, the spirits were very happy about this, and they would come to me in dreams and speak to me about it. And it was around this time that I had, dreams like that. One in particular, which was very powerful for me, where I was in a race, and the spirit basically told me, I'll make a long story short, I can tell this entire dream in great detail. I could even storyboard it, which I'm actually in the process of doing right now, because it was an incredible dream, and I lived it. But at the end of it, there was this great spirit that came to me, and basically we had to go on this race through a fun house, and there were a bunch of people, and the whole environment kept changing, and it was really confusing, strange, almost psychedelic dream. And when I came out, I basically had this experience where I became a snake, and I went down a snake hole, and I had to wiggle through this hole in the ground and come out of this hole into this forest, this beautiful pine forest, and this lovely sacred place. And this being came to me, and I said, "Where's everybody? I think I lost the race, didn't I? I'm the last one here." And he goes, "No, you haven't lost the race. You've won. You're the first person here." And I said, "Well, that's impossible. I was the last one the whole race." And he told me that they couldn't finish without me. And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because of the kundalini." Well, first he said, "You know why." And I said, "Yeah." And then he goes, "Because of the kundalini within you." And this was very powerful. And he also gave me 2 talismans, 2 charms. One was a bunched up piece of hair. Looked like, could have been human hair. I don't know. It was dark hair, bunched up kind of like a barber's thing. You know what I'm doing. And the other one was this leather piece with a metal piece on top of it that had the cosmic spiral. The cosmic spiral. Which is everything, including everything. So that was incredible. And the kundalini is really, it's what, if you don't know what the kundalini is, I highly recommend Googling it, do whatever, do as much research as you can on it, because it's basically thought of to be the life force within us all that pushes us to succeed and just to do everything. It has to do with your hopes, your dreams, and love and whatnot. So that, I will end this session with that, because now we get into my mid-20s, and we get up to current date, and I can really start telling you some of the more interesting things that have been happening as well.